Hello and welcome back to Tiny Artist TV. It is day 3, sorry, day 3 of DnDecember. This is why I don't try to be cute. Let's go ahead and find out what today's prompt is. So as usual, we're going to be rolling our D20 first. So today is number 17, which is an orc. Awesome. And our D12 for class, number 4, an orc druid. Love it. Honestly, if Orc was a playable character in earlier editions, that would have been me, because I always default to Druid. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the sketch. And of course, to add some flavor, to find out what kind of Druid we are going to be drawing today, well, I guess not we, me, what kind of Druid I am going to be drawing today, I pulled the list of Druid circles from the 5th edition wiki, so that means we're going to be rolling a d6 to find out what Druid they are. So it's number 3. The Druid of the Land. Okay, the standard wood druid. So when trying to figure out what direction I wanted to take with this, I quickly realized that a vertical composition is not going to work for me because the pose that I wanted to do needed a lot of space. So I flip my canvas and I get started with, of course, a polearm sketch. But okay, so this one's, I guess, technically not a polearm because it's a scythe. And I actually based this weapon choice off of one of my other D&D characters who is a shifter who has a magical scythe. And it is one of the weapons that druids are proficient in, although I don't see them depicted with it very often. So I went with that, A, to give it something interesting, and B, again, just kind of inspired by my character Saffron. I didn't really do too much with the scythe other than like add some leafy bits to it. And druids, well, this one in particular, I wanted to kind of have a more function over fashion as far as character design goes. Very efficient, a guardian of the woods type character. And as far as the demeanor of this particular orc, because they're usually depicted as like just these like big dumb idiots, like I wanted this one to be a little more stoic, like a little more thoughtful, I suppose. Not someone who's just gonna swing at you because you've crossed into his territory, but someone who is actively protecting his area of the woods from something more serious than just some wayward travelers. So I've got him in this charging pose, and the hand of, I chose lightning because that's one of my favorite spells when I play druid characters, just because it has a big AoE and it just looks cool to draw. So it doesn't really fit with the rest of the aesthetic, but this is character creation and this is how I chose to create this character. Just adding in, so this is the second layer of line art now, well, technically the second layer of sketches, where I'm blocking out the details and all the little particulars. Here, I didn't really consider, when I was drawing the long like tapestry skirt type situation, didn't really consider the motion of the cloth as I was sketching this out. I do fix this in the line layer. That's what this is for. Like, it's for me to figure out where I want my details to go, and kind of gives me some buffer time between executing the drawing and then thinking about how the drawing is actually supposed to look. Like, between this layer and the layer that I'm doing now, I actually took a little break to stand in front of the mirror, try this pose, and like see what actually needed to be fixed, because when I do these initial sketches, I'm kind of just getting the general idea, and then between the first layer and the final layer is when I work out all the little odds and ends. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with the eyes. I do end up, they're black right now because usually when I draw orcs, I do have them with like black eyes with yellow pupils or yellow irises, and for this one it didn't have the effect that I wanted when I pulled back Later, I pull back the line art to see how the final lines compare to the initial detail sketch. There were some things that kind of got lost in translation, and so I pull a few things away. It's mostly in the face, but with the eyes, I end up um, erasing those out so that they're like just solid white, and then I add a highlight into them to make him look a little bit more mystical instead of feral. And here's where I realized that the skirt should definitely be billowing back and not just kind of billowing out. Well, maybe if this was the initial charge, it could still be billowing. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Sorry, guys. Billowing out. Compositionally, it gives a nice balance between the wide arms and then you have the wide skirt at the bottom. But realistically, that's not how physics works, at least for the point that I'm drawing him in this pose. The skirt would definitely be blowing back more, so I fixed that in the final line layer, as you can see. I hate drawing feet. But they turned out really well in this one. I still don't like drawing hands and feet. Alright, so now we're going to get started with the color, and of course I select the inverse, fill in the color, erase out the sections that don't need it. I currently have it set to a light transparency though because I like the pastel nature of this. The green I picked was actually like really bright, so having it mesh with the background dulled it down a little bit. And for my shadows, I have it set to overlay, and then for my highlights, which I'm doing this kind of dappled sunlight effect, I have that layer set to screen, once again just to make it really pop out. For the dappled light, as you can see, I'm just kind of putting speckles where the highest parts of the body are. Everything else is kind of pushed back into the shadows, and I just take my brush and then erase back bits so it looks like there's leaves crossing over through the light. Here I start messing with the lightning, and very quickly, I think Jenna Marbles calls it a too much gene. I guess I have that too, because I get started with this lighting and I'm like, oh, add more, keep adding more, it's fine, add some light, and then it's like, no, it's not alright. So I get rid of that and just leave it the way it is, because even without the lighting effect, you can still tell that it's like lightning or some kind of magic. So it's like, okay, less is more, let's leave it alone. Now I'm just adding in the last of the details to the face, the little bits of light on the horns and the earrings. And that is it for today's DnDecember prompt. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, and have a weird day.